So, what was coming through this morning was honoring resonance and how this ties in with our manifestation power. Or honestly, not even just manifestation, like not intentional manifestation, but just in everything that we do. Like, especially for artists and especially for creatives and people who put themselves out there, the importance of honoring your truth, honoring what feels aligned, what feels grounded, and what feels resonant to you is the most important thing that you do. It goes beyond whatever it is that you create. It goes beyond anything physical, anything tangible. It goes beyond any action that you take. It literally has to do with the frequency. It has to do with the vibrational alignment of what you are doing. It has to do with the vibration of what you are doing. Everything that you do, you could make like for me, for instance, I make music as one of my forms of creative expression. And I was running up against this wall for a while where it just felt like the music I was creating wasn't really resonating with people, and it wasn't really finding its place in the world. And I think a lot of that had to do with, for one, the reason why I was even looking for external validation to begin with was because I wasn't operating from a space of complete resonance. I was creating from a mental place and not a place from the heart, not a place from the feeling or simply the enjoyment of creating the thing to begin with. And that showed in the way that I felt tense and anxious about uploading it. It showed in the way that I felt tense and anxious in anybody watching it. If I saw even one view on a video that I put out, it was enough to make me clench up and get really tense and almost put a block there where I wasn't even allowing people to fully receive the thing that I put so much time and effort into. And that revealed itself to me as I began to let go of those, letting go of the control, letting go of the mind in the process of creation, and just allowing the fun to kind of take over, allowing the flow to have its own place, and allowing for that to be the main trajectory. So, the difference that I felt putting things out that operated from that root, from that seed, the things that came of that space, was so much ease and so much love and so much release and expansion. And it opened up my mind even to more ways that I can allow myself to expand in this way. Because if we're operating from that tense mental place of creating for the sake of creating, doing for the sake of doing, and not for the sake of the enjoyment, you're not really going to enjoy that process. Thus, you're not going to your mind isn't going to want to think of new ways that you can continue doing that because it doesn't feel good in your body. You want to do things that feel good in your body and allow yourself to feel peace and love and presence. And in doing so, you're going to just allow so much more release and so much ease and flow to find its way into your life. And that's going to carry you into so many new outlets that you can allow yourself to express. Okay, I can't remember the second point that I was going to make on this. It might come to me. Allowing flow, allowing ease, grounding into your source. That is honestly the root of everything. And the thing is, people can feel when something is created for validation, for money, for accolades, for anything that is external. Like how you were as you created that thing, if you in your soul, in your spirit, felt like this thing is just like coming out of you, it is just like flowing so naturally, and you're excited about it, and you're feeling this like deep sense of alignment and flow and connection to source as you're creating that thing, you're going to end up with so much more appreciation for it. People are going to feel that. We are all energy. So everything that we do is like we can feel energy. Even if you think you can't, even if you think you're not tapped in that way, you can. We all can. In the same way you can feel static electricity, we can feel the energy. We can feel the resonance of whatever it is that we're creating, we can feel the resonance of the vibration that something was created in. So if something is created in a off kilter, off, just ugly, not ugly, well, kind of, of a not, I'll say, misaligned vibration, then it doesn't really sit well with us. It doesn't really sit in our body in the same way. Versus when something is created with so much love and so much expansion, and you can just feel the love of whatever that thing is just radiating off of the thing. That's resonance. That's what we feel like. People resonate with that expansion, and thus the whole thing can just expand, and it inspires expansion in other people as well. So yeah, letting go of the rigidity of the mental mind frame in how we create. And honestly, it really is about quality over quantity. We live in this day and age where quantity is like, it's become the norm. It's become what corporations really are looking for as they push out content and stuff. But that's not how we're wired as humans. That's not how we naturally receive information, and that's not how we naturally create. We don't create on a constant I'm seeing like a wheel. Like we're not a hamster on a wheel. That's not how this works. We need to give ourselves time to allow these ideas to flow, to expand, and to let ourselves flow and expand into different avenues, into new inspirations. It reminds me when I was in grad school, I did architecture in grad school, and if you're familiar with architecture school, it is very rigorous, and there's almost no time to process any of it. As soon as you get an assignment that's due the next day, you're then required to produce again and again and again and again, and there's no time to really digest any of it. Even on the weekends, I didn't have weekends for like a couple of years because there was just so much work involved in that. And at the time, I didn't understand how misaligned that was to just not only my natural way of producing and creating, but also just in general. As humans, like, we're not meant to constantly be on and be under pressure and produce in that to that capacity. But it reminded me of a time when I, like, within those constraints, I would use whatever time I had to decompress. So I would go for walks. I would go just like take time out of the studio where I could just be with myself, usually grounding in nature or something. And it was in those moments where my mind wasn't on that I had the best ideas, that I felt most excited and most inspired for the things that I wanted to do, for the project ideas that I had, and for things I wanted to make and create and explore. And I think that really applies to social media as well, and just like our whole framework around what it is to create. And there needs to be time where we disconnect from the machine and just allow ourselves to live, decompress, and get inspired again. Get inspired, get excited, and allow the flow to naturally happen. You know, it's time that we get off the hamster wheel and let our own creative expression, our own creative, our own creative pace take priority. You know, we need to prioritize ourselves, and it feels so much better to create something that feels right, that feels good, and that feels aligned. So, okay, that is the end of the message. Beautiful. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope you get outside and connect with nature in some way. Help yourself ground a little bit. And honor yourselves today. Do something for you that you've been wanting to do, that you've been thinking about. And allow it to be of ease. Allow it to be inspired. Allow it to be free. And see what comes of that. All right, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll talk to you guys again very soon. Take care.